Hi everybody, this is John Anderson for an update of week 4. I spoke in my last video that I had a coffee meeting set up for this last Friday, and I wanted to give everybody a little bit of insight, especially for the people who have not done a coffee meeting yet. Some little tips that I learned for your questions that you're going to ask these people. Make sure they are very specific. When you do your homework with the company and about the person you're going to be speaking with, make sure that they're you know your answer that you're going to ask, that they're going to answer, but make sure that it's an in-depth question to where they may have to think just that little bit to be impressed. And then with those questions, don't be scripted. Know the material that you have, hopefully in your folder, and make sure it's fluid. The gentleman I spoke with actually said, when he gave me some feedback after our coffee meeting, he says, "You were a little scripted a couple times. Make sure the questions are your own." But a good couple things about the script that I wrote down was when I was asking questions, as soon as he would answer it, I knew the material that I wrote down, that I could flip through it, and I said, hang on, this question is what I want to ask you next. And he was very impressed with my knowledge of the company. Do your homework about the person, about the company, know everything about it. There was something that just came out not too long ago with this company. It was a streamlined process that was hopefully going to make this company very profitable and hopefully change the way people do stuff in my industry. It just came out within like the last month. His company is now just starting to use it, and nobody else has really heard about it, and he was so impressed that I knew exactly what it was, even though there was no explanation of it. When you're asking your questions, make sure there are no questions behind the question. For a specific example, I asked him, would you rather have somebody who has the hands-on field knowledge and the technical knowledge of this job and that can think on their feet and, say, mechanics and whatnot, or would you rather have somebody who knows a lot more of the office report writing, that kind of stuff? He stopped me and he asked, I think what you're trying to ask is, would I rather have a person who's a technical worker or a practical worker? Yeah, he kind of called me out on that. And I asked him, yes, would you rather have a technical worker or a practical worker? He said it doesn't matter about GPA, didn't matter about your education, didn't matter where you came from or what you've done. It's what you can do. So trying to prove to somebody when you're having that conversation that you are that person that can do and can learn, it'll be very insightful for you. Don't get caught with your pants down. And don't mean that literally, but figuratively. This gentleman saw right through me. I knew that they were hiring, and I went in there with the intentions of networking, the intentions of introducing myself, learning something about the company, and taking some advice from this gentleman who had been in the industry since mid-70s, who has been a front runner and a leader in my industry. And he says, you're a little transparent on some of this stuff. I do feel that you are really asking for, or you're wanting to get a job. Not asking for it, but you're wanting to get a job. So make sure that your intentions are not to seek employment and for strictly networking. Another really big thing is really do your homework. This guy said quite a few times in our coffee meeting that he was very impressed with the knowledge of not only him, but what his company has done. And also another thing about getting your pants down, I brought a really nice notebook for my coffee meeting, just a couple of notes. He saw my resume sitting in the folder. And it was kind of hard to say my intentions are not for employment for network purposes when my resume was sitting right there. Not that great. And also, make sure your handwriting is really well written out. He could actually read my notes, what I was about to say, and he saw a couple names down at the bottom, and he asked about that. And I said I wanted to introduce myself to these people. They graduated from my school as well. and he was pretty impressed that I wanted to introduce myself to some other people. So hopefully that's some little insight on your coffee networking skills. Look forward to everybody's videos coming up next week. If you do a coffee meeting, please post it up. I'd be really interested to see it. If not, oh well. Thank you very much, and see everybody later on.